Hello and welcome into a Matt O'Leary and Why live stream. What is going on? I am your host, Matt O'Leary. After what I thought was a downright phenomenal first episode of One Jet Drive, that's what we will do today. We will go through and recap what I thought was a fun start to what should be a fun season for the New York Jets. We will start at the top, work our way through. I'll go through my notes, then we'll hit on the comments in the chat. Make sure to subscribe so you can hop in on the chat. Send in any super chats to cut the line, and we'll get this thing rocking and rolling. I know people are amped up about this show and Hard Knocks, and One Jets Drive gets the edge, and the program opens up with Robert Saleh and Aaron Rodgers doing a little speech, a little hype up speech on one of the last days of OTAs. And Rodgers in particular gave me goosebumps with some of the things that he was saying. For instance, like you got to put in the sacrifices in order to win a championship. The hair didn't stand up on the back of your neck. Do you even have a pulse? That's my question for you. But I thought that was cool. And then it kind of goes into Rodgers at his golf tournament and going through how much fun he's had since joining the New York Jets. Talks about going to MSG, doing Swift concerts, Wicked, and just kind of taking it all in. And he's playing golf with Miles Teller, and he's going back and forth with Miles Teller, saying, "Oh my God," Teller says, "Go Birds," and obviously the Jets and the Eagles playing. What is it, week 6? The two of them face off, so that should be a fun one. But I loved a little bit of a banter there between those two guys. I thought that was entertaining. Loved that. Rodgers also a line that stuck out to me. Two things towards the end of that segment of the show where he was, playing in that golf tournament was him talking about teams coming together in training camp. And, sometimes we overlook that portion of the season, right? It's so hyper focused on the regular season and the playoffs that sometimes, unfortunately, we can, I don't know, forget is the right word, but, training camp kind of gets put on the back burner a little bit with some other, important things that are going on. But talking about just how, it's an opportunity for the team to come together and embracing the, high expectations, I think is a good thing. I see the super chat from Blitzcrew, excuse me, I appreciate that. Let me that could be on my end. Let me know if it gets any better if I do this. Hang on. There we go, okay. I switched I switched a little bit of, I switched the a little bit of a setting. Let's see if it irons out a little bit. Um, Apologize for the the audio there. Hopefully it evens out a little bit. Try a refresh on your screen, if that makes a if sometimes that makes a difference, I've noticed. Um, just doing a quick refresh, but I appreciate the heads up. Thank you, guys. So as we were saying, the Rodgers talking about training camp and high expectations, and embracing the high expectations because, let's face it, this is going to be an incredibly high pressured season, right? With just expectations sky high. They go 7-10 last year. This is an opportunity for them to potentially do some damage and make some noise and potentially make the playoffs and maybe have a championship level team. I think that would be incredible if that's the case. Uh, Next, in that next portion, it kinda goes into Quinn ready to sign, his contract. I love the behind the scenes, with the behind the scenes stuff with Quinn Williams getting the contract ready to go, and just, how excited he was and how important family is to Quinn Williams. I think it kinda just goes to show, the kinda guy that he is. He had his wife and his daughter there. He's smiling, he's talking about the baby smiling and talking about fatherhood. It was a blast watching that. I thought that was really cool to see. And then it goes into Quincy and Quinn both getting the deals. I thought the 2 of those guys getting signed together, it showed how much like that it's evident that it means a lot to them in order to get that deal done, in order to get both of those deals done. And, that's a dream of theirs. They wanted to play together their entire lives, and they're talking about, from the time that they were youngsters wanting to play together, and living out that dream in the NFL. It's rare enough that you get brothers in the NFL to play on the same team at the same time. What an experience that must be, and, Quinn gets paid, Quincy gets paid, they can be here for the next few years and hopefully, right, win a championship. Let's see. Then they go into AT on report day. I thought him talking about the tricep injury was interesting. Definitely didn't know how injured he was at the time. Um, he talks about, like, "I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know the severity of it," and it sucked to relive that. I didn't love that at all. Going through and talking about just what it looked like at the time when the Jets were riding high going into Denver. They have that huge run in that game, the Breece Hall touchdown, and then I believe it was the next drive, you lose AV and you lose him for the season, and it stinks to lose him for the season because that, again, is someone that, you are is a building block piece and someone you are heavily relying on in your and to me, that was the start of the end for the 2022 New York Jets. 2022 New York Jets season began to fall off, I think, anyway, with that. With that very game, losing Breece Hall and AVT, I thought was huge. So getting him back, I thought was cool. How about, Richie getting shown on screen? A little Jets media love, things you love to see. If you notice, walking behind Richie into training camp is Green Bean, Ryan, and myself. The 3 of us are behind him, but Richie was the star, getting put on the screen. Some well-deserved face time for our guy Richie over at Jets Media, and, I was the meme, who was that, the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where I'm pointing at the TV. I'm like, "Hey, I know that guy. That's Richie." Sauce and Quinn, and I love their relationship. The Shaq and Kobe stuff I thought was really funny, them going back and forth, of who's Shaq and who's Kobe, and hey, it worked for them for a few years, right? They got a couple of championships out of it in the early 2000s. I thought, that was great, and, Quinn running back and blocking on the Sauce Gardner interception return, and him laughing about it. It seemed like they're having a good time and a fun time in practice, and lighthearted, right? Like, their core, yes, you have Aaron Rodgers, a veteran, and there are some other veterans on the team, but their core is a young, lighthearted group that is easy to root for. At least that's my thing. Wes Schweitzer, right? Wes Schweitzer, is something that, to me, that quote stuck out to me. He's calling AVT one of the best that I've seen. That part, when he gets into talking about just in general, the ceiling that he potentially could have in the NFL. AVT is probably the only guy on that offensive line who has that true all-pro potential, and we were robbed of that in his 2nd season, unfortunately. It wasn't fair, selfishly. I wanted to see a full season of AVT in his 2nd year. We all did, and that was, again, unfortunately taken from us as he goes down for the season, but Wes Schweitzer calling it as we see it with, AVT, one of the best offensive linemen that he's seen, and I think, we saw glimpses of that in his 2nd season, but just really nothing, um, really nothing we could do, unfortunately, because of the injury. But maybe this year in year 3, moving back to guard, all pro, Pro Bowl season at guard, something like that, I'm in. Then we get into Method Man coming into training camp, talking with the defensive backs, I thought was cool. Again, lighthearted and fun. He's talking with Aaron Rodgers, and that got me hyped. And the last really thing or the last note that I had, before we do the Aaron Rodgers and the Sauce Gardner gift exchange and, just some more, final little last hype videos that they show at the end. Aaron Rodgers says something to Method Man that really jumped out to me, which was, "I'm lucky to be here." That's incredible. "I'm lucky to be here." That was the line. I love it. Sign me the hell up for that, dude. "I'm lucky to be here, Aaron Rodgers," they say for Aaron Rodgers. That's great. So, those are my takeaways. Those are my big things. And I would like to see what you guys have to say in the chat. We will turn it over to the chat, seeing some Seen some comments on the audio, not perfect, but better than it was, and then we're still having some issues with the audio. I will how about this? I will unplug you'll see me I will unplug my mic and plug it back in for you. Alright, we're gonna give it a go now. Let's see if that makes any difference. King Jane says, "Matt, are you 6'9" or are Richie and Ryan and Green Bean that short?" Not 6'9", 6'4", maybe 6'5" if I stand up straight. Here, I'll share on my screen the picture that I don't know if viral is the right word. I wouldn't say what we were doing out in Canton, Ohio was, uh, viral, but there was a picture that I posted with, Jake Asman and Boy Green, and people were laughing because Jake Asman's, standing on his tippy toes here. Let's pull this up. Here we go. I'll share the picture. I said, "The YouTubers take Canton, Boy Green, and Jake Asman." And all of the comments look, the tweet had over 218 likes, 120,000 views. So many comments on the hype. 6'4", maybe if I stand up straight, maybe I can get to 6'5". Um, but yeah, if the Jets need a slow possession receiver, I could be that guy. Tippy toe gate. That's what Snowball is saying. Tippy toe gate, which was the joke we were talking about with, that little thing at our event, by which, by the way, at Jersey's out in Belden Village in Canton, Ohio, we had, like, 200 Jet fans out there. It was so sick. There was a meetup of Jet fans from 6 to 8 o'clock. We were there from 8 to midnight. So many Jet fans, met so many different people. Truly, truly a blast and such a blessing to hang out with so many people and meet so many people. So, that was great. Harry, the video on One Jets Drive was terrible. He wants to talk about it being in I believe, standard definition? Yeah. Why was the broadcast in SD on TV? I think it was shot in wide mode for some reason. I don't know. I'm not as great with the technology side of things, but that was definitely I noticed that, right? 'Cause you had the black screens on the top, but I think it was just because they shot it on such a wide lens. Maybe they're going for more cinematic look, but I did notice that as well. Johnny Jimenez chimes in. Says, "Rodgers saying that we need to win the East and have a playoff game at home, that's the GOAT talk." Yeah, the Jets haven't had a home freaking playoff game since 2002. That is 21 years ago. I was alive. I wasn't really watching Jets football that year, but I was alive. You probably are tired of me hearing me telling this story or hearing this story. But I started watching the Jets when I was 8, like, religiously when I was 8 years old. It was the 2003 season. So, I have not seen in my fandom a New York Jets home playoff game. You have home playoff games in '98. You have a home playoff game in 2002. The Jets took care of business against Jacksonville. They took care of business against Indianapolis. But since that blowout against Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts 21 years ago, the Jets have not a played a home playoff game. They've had some big playoff wins on the road in San Diego twice in 2004 and 2009. You went on the road as well to, where else? Cincinnati, a road win, Indianapolis, a road win, unfortunately not Pittsburgh, which that irks me in both '04 and 2010. In New England, they've had some road wins, but no home playoff games since 2000. And John says it was 4K for me, so I think it was just because of the type of shot. Duncan says we need to get Kevin from The Office to play O-line. Yeah, I mean, Office, I'm a huge Office fan. Aaron Rodgers is an Office fan too, and Brian Baumgartner, I believe, is the name of the actor. He is built. He could absolutely play tackle. I mean, right now you have Billy Turner playing left tackle. If Dwayne Brown's not coming back soon, yeah, give him a contract. Why not? Kevin from The Office, Brian Baumgartner, get him in there playing some left tackle in the short term. Why not? Flamer chimes in, says, "Just finished the episode after Mason." Yeah, it really got me amped up, and right back at it again tomorrow with Hard Knocks coming at what, 10 o'clock tomorrow night. So excited for Hard Knocks coming out tomorrow night, and I'll see again, and we all will see how different these episodes are going to be. What is it gonna be like, compare and contrast wise? What will HBO show that the Jets weren't going to show? Is it a fight at training camp? Is it, a not a beef, but a misunderstanding or a argument or something? It's gonna be cool. I'm really looking forward. Snowball says, "I feel like I've seen almost everything they put in that first episode." That is true, like, they did a lot of teasers, so we knew what was coming, which is, that's just how things are now, whether it be a trailer for a movie or I'm a big comedy guy, so I like watching, comedy specials, and I feel like with TikTok and Instagram, like, I see so many clips from these specials, I feel like I've seen the whole special already without actually seeing it from the promotion that they do on social media, but same kinda thing, with the Jets here in their one Jets drive, which is okay. It's still exciting to see it pieced together, and I think the Jets video team, uh, cinematographers do a tremendous, tremendous job of putting it together and telling the story. Sean says, "Last home playoff win, 41 nothing destruction of the Colts." There you go. That's just it. Gotta go all the way back to the 2002 season. It was what, January of '03? Last home playoff win, 41 zip. What a dominant beatdown of, I almost said, of Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. King Jamie the Mad says, "This year may just take the AFC Championship out of KC. That means KC comes to JetLife Stadium for it, right?" I mean, some high praise from a Chiefs fan. King Jamie's in here a ton. He is absolutely, an old reliable here in the live streams. I appreciate him checking in as always, and, he's been on the Jets train for a while, and, I think it's time other people start to hop on. This thing's gonna be legit this year. I don't know if I'm ready to go that far. I think Kansas City is still far and away the best team in the conference. I think Cincinnati is right behind them, and I think Buffalo and the Jets are right after that, in whatever order. You might give Buffalo the nod because they've been there and they've done it before, but the Jets are right there. To me, there's 4 or 5 teams that could come out of the AFC and really make some. That's how good the conference is. Boycott says, "This is the least amount of commercials in YouTube history. I try to listen during the ads." Yeah, there were I don't know if this is sarcasm, I'm assuming it's sarcasm. I think there were, like, what, 5 ad breaks, something like that during one Jets drive. I enjoyed it. King James says, "I love my Jets family because I've built a gosh dang hot rod that could race my Ferrari about any day, bro." Look, I mean, we'll get to see it in the regular season and hopefully again in the playoffs. I don't know if I could predict the Jets to beat Kansas City, but I think they'll hang with them. I absolutely think they have the offense to hang with them. I think the defense is gonna be good enough to, I'm not gonna say shut down, because how do you shut down Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid in that offense? But I think they have enough to keep it in check. I think it'll be a tight game. I think it'll be down to the wire. We're talking a field goal game, a 4-point game either way. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. You get the Chiefs and the Eagles early on this season. Buffalo to start the season, Cowboys early on, like, you're gonna get some pretty solid teams here out of the gate, so I'm really excited. Snowball saying, "B Marsh predicts the Eagles and the Jets Super Bowl." Thoughts? Mm, interesting. I could I mean, to me, the Jets have as good of a chance as any of the top 4 between you wanna go Jets, Chiefs, Bengals, Bills. I think those are the 4 teams with the most likely chance to come out of the AFC. And then in the NFC, really only the Eagles and the 49ers really do a whole lot for me. And the 49ers don't really have an answer at quarterback right now. I guess it's gonna be Brock Purdy to start the season, but man, I could Eagles Jets Super Bowl. That'd be a hell of a time. This one made me laugh. We still pitching tents over here. I mean, it was hard not to during the entirety of that broadcast. What a fun time that was to hang out and watch the show. I thought it was great. The Rodgers stuff really got the juices flowing. Him talking to Sauce Gardner, I thought was I really liked it. I could do pull-ups on this thing after all that. That's great. That's fantastic. And you know what? Tigo, friend of the show, Talking Jets with Tigo. If you don't know him, make sure to subscribe or give him a follow even on Twitter. Says, "Anyone else rock hard and ready to run through a wall after episode 1 of One Jets Drive? No, just me." Okay. That's a fact, Tigo. I'm with you. Gator, yes, I did. What's going on, Gator? Did I hear the great Jake Asman towards the end? You coming to Vegas? Let's go. How tall are you, man? Gator, I did. I did hear the great Jake Asman's voice. Uh, he had Jake had a very busy day today. It was just hilarious. But anyway, yes, I did hear the voice. As of now, I'm not coming out to Vegas. I'm going to Jets Chargers on Monday Night Football in November. That's my game on the schedule right now. Um, I don't foresee myself adding another one. Vegas is a bucket list thing. So like part of me wants to, but a weekend in Vegas, I might do some damage out there. Snowball says, "Did you get any tickets to training camp?" Ryan texted me earlier. I have to hit him back, because he was asking me about dates for training. That'd be great, to get out there again. I went with, well, Ryan and Richie and Green Bean, what was that, last Sunday? Yeah, not a couple days ago, the Sunday before. It was a good time, it was fun. The only thing that sucked, and you guys are gonna hear me complain about it, but driving back from Jersey to get back to Long Island was a night. It was not very fun. I've done a lot of driving recently. We drove back from Canton, like, driving through PA, like, that was it was bugging me. And the 3 hours back from training camp last week, like, it's fun when you're there, I'm not thinking about it, and the drive there is never bad. It's like an hour there, maybe. And then on the way home, I was sitting in traffic going over the bridge. I'm like, "Why did I?" T t Well, it says, "Don't forget the Jags. They're going to compete this year. KC is the only one that makes me nervous in the playoffs." I The Jaguars, I think they're gonna win the AFC South for sure. I don't put them in that same echelon. I think they'll be a solid team, but I think they're like a 9 or 10 win team. I don't think they're an 11, 12 win team. I don't put them in that window. Duncan says, "I liked how Q said, 'Do I really need to sign it?' about his contract," and and the woman was like, yes. Yes, you do. Please put pen to paper so we can all get paid and make money off it." That was great. I agree with you there. That was good. DNY for life says, "Just finished one Jets drive with my wife, daughter, and I just got the throwback Sauce jersey." Nice. So damn hyped for our season of Destiny. Jets, Jets, Jets. Love it. Absolutely love it. I enjoyed it. I think every Jet fan enjoyed the show tonight. I think it was a perfect start to the season, right before training and we're right in the middle of training camp. Tomorrow, training camp with the New York Jets on Hard Knocks starts. One Jets drive snuck themselves in on Monday to get it right in there before the Hard Knocks. Ted says, "Hey, Matt, it was great meeting you over the weekend. It was a pretty awesome time in Canton." Ted, could not agree more. Canton was so much fun. I had a blast, met so many Jet fans, whether it was on Thursday night at the game, Friday night at Jersey's was so much fun, and then on Saturday during the ceremony was a good time as well. Really a special few days, and again, great to meet so many people. Thanks again, Ted, for, coming out and meeting us. It was Rob says, "I'm 51, riddled with arthritis, and that episode makes me wanna put pads on." Yeah, how do you not wanna just toss on the shoulder pads, strap up the helmet, and get after it. That first speech, they opened it perfectly. The New York Jets did a perfect job opening that with the Aaron Rodgers speech to get everybody hyped out of the gate. He's talking about making the sacrifices. I'm like, "Listen, I'm here, I'm a content guy. I'm making videos on YouTube, putting out podcasts, tweeting, videos, all that stuff. What do I need to do to ensure that this will be a championship season? I'm ready. I'm listening, Aaron. I'm listening, Robert Saleh. I gotta do what I gotta do." That's great. Heather says, "I use my wife's login for YouTube. She has ad-free for her and my youngest daughter. I'm too busy, lazy to transfer all my subs and such." Totally fair. Totally. Uh Snowball, I will get back to you. I will get back to you on that. I will send you a message on Twitter or IG. I'll find a way to send you a message. If that's one of the days that Ryan has, we might be able to work or work something. King James says, "Are you going to week Richie's thing week 3? I would like to shake your hands all friendly like the week before you guys beat my Chiefs." Not planning on it right now, um, to get out there for week 3, but yeah, a lot of people are, and, shout out to Richie. He always puts out on good events for, Jets Media Day. Last year was against the Dolphins, one of the best games of the season for the Johnny says, "So after Hard Knocks tomorrow, what are we supposed to watch until Saturday?" Great question. I don't know. We're gonna be sitting here, just waiting, I guess, but we'll still have some storylines to talk about here on YouTube, but there will be some practices that we can get into and talk about, whether it be the practices against the Panthers. Ooh, who are you gonna watch? Are you gonna see more Mekhi Becton? Is Zach Wilson get a half this time? Do we see Bryce Huff and Will McDonald into the 4th quarter again? Please no, Robert Saleh. Let's be smoother than that. But you're right, Johnny. I don't know what we're gonna do. I have no idea. Well, Kat says, "Do you think any of our tight ends have 80 catch capability if we don't have the wide receiver firepower beyond Garrett Wilson?" I don't know if they're gonna spread the ball around that much for 80 catches to a tight end. What did CJ have? Not CJ, Tyler Conklin have last? He was what, 4th on the team in receiving yards? 3rd maybe? No, 2nd. I'm wrong. He had 58 catches for 552 yards. I think they're gonna spread the ball around too much. Maybe you get a tight end, maybe Conklin has, like, 60, 65 catches, but I think they spread it around. I don't really think that's gonna be, the ca oh, I think I froze. Come on now. There we go, we're back. My computer just sped up like crazy, so I said, "Oh, something bad's happening." But I don't think it's gonna be just, Garrett Wilson with 100 catches and nobody else after that. I think Conklin, Lazard, Davis, Hardman are gonna be relatively close in catches. Ooh, good question from Johnny again here. Who's someone you'd like to interview? Jet affiliated, of course. I would probably go Curtis Martin. I think he was one of the biggest reasons for me to get into football when I was younger. He was the star of those Jets teams, again, when I was getting into the sport in 2003 and 2004, those early 2000 teams. I would say Curtis. His Jets career really. Yeah, King Lowski says Conklin will have more. A-Rod likes to go to the tight end. He does. He likes to go, especially in the red zone too. I think all 3 tight ends, Conklin, Uzomah, and Rucker. I think, we see something from all those guys. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Duncan says, "Do you think any starters play at the Bucks home preseason game? I hate to waste my tickets, but it's rough to sit through in the heat to watch backups." Yeah, I totally get that. Uh, I think according this is, what Robert Saleh said a couple weeks ago at this point, but they are most likely to use the Giants game as the ramp-up game. I don't know. You'll probably see more starters in the Bucks one, Um, you'll see more Buck starters in that Bucks game, but I don't think you're gonna see all the regulars for that long. The game against the Giants looks like that will be used, so love that. We have time for a couple more in here. Just wanted to do a quick live stream after the show. We'll do a couple more. Blitzker says our OTs were solid in Cleveland. You think our OTs look questionable because of the quality of our DEs? That's entirely possible. Jets are going top, what, 3 defensive line in the sport. It's the Jets, it's the Eagles, and it's the 49ers, in my opinion, that have the best defensive lines in the sport. And you're going up against at best, middle of the road offensive line, that there it's gonna make a difference, right? But, I don't wanna put a ton of stock into that game against Cleveland just because competition that they were going up against. Um, but you're right, like, the offensive line wasn't really they were good at pass protection. Run game, not a whole lot going on in the run game, but anyway, let's see what else we got. Okay, we got a couple more. If Tippmann keeps this up, he'll start by week 7. The only reason he's the 3rd string is because he can't keep up with AR mentally. He'll come on. I fully anticipate him to, come on strong, and I think he does start at some point this year. Maybe it is after the bye, right? The Jets, what, they go into the bye after the game against the Eagles, which is week 6? So, yeah, that this absolutely, I think, makes sense. And we'll close with Snowball saying, "Tough year for cuts. It's so confusing to predict." It is confusing to predict. I'm having a really hard time going through with this roster and coming out to the 53. It's not gonna be easy. There's gonna be guys who are able to make it. There we go. Crossfire got me at the buzzer right before I was about to go. Right before I was about to go. Crossfire says, "Finally caught you live, my guy. Love your content." Crossfire, you are a legend. You are a saint. I appreciate you, Crossfire. You're the best. And with that, I think that's a good place to leave it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I had a blast watching the first episode. I had a blast hanging out with you guys after. That's gonna do it for me. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time. Go Jets.